After a Super Sunday at Sha Tin for the Standard Chartered Champions and Chater Cup, we're back at Sha Tin on a Wednesday night for an 8-race programme under the lights on the all-weather. Very warm welcome to Racing to Win. I'm Angela Jean, joined here in the studio by Paul Alley, our former analyst, and race caller Brett Davis as well. And Brett, we'll come back to the big weekend in a moment or so, but as always, a decent mix of newbies and tried and tested horses on the all-weather.
Absolutely, Andrew. Yeah, look, we had, I've got obviously a meeting on the all-weather at the start of the month of May. We've got one at the end. We've got 5 in total throughout the season, and this is number 5. So we've got a bit of a chance to feast on some of the all-weather form a little more regularly than normal, and hopefully that'll help us find more winners.
It will, hopefully, yes, absolutely. No feature race as such, Paul, but big jackpot in the TT.
Yeah, over 9 million and going into that TT jackpot, and also seeding the pools there, 800,000 going into races 4, 6 and 8 as well for the quartets and first fours. So a bit of extra money floating around. We did that for our last meeting as well. It's very popular, extra money going in. But yeah, some good jackpots, a couple of first starters and a few old favourites on the dirt and a few newcomers as well.
Yeah, Ben So's back in the saddle as well. Great to have him back. But Dylan Moe and Alex Lai confirmed they're out for the season now. That's
right, yeah. The stewards have sent out an email and memo, or you know, whatever you want to call it, and suggested, yes, that Alex Lai unfortunately still hasn't fully recovered, and neither has Dylan Moe. So they will take the time between now and the end of the season and the off-season to hopefully get right. Let's hope they do have a speedy recovery from now until then and can be back next season. But yes, as you said, Ben, so good to see him back.
Absolutely. All right, well, before we look at Wednesday night's programme, let's get into the action from the weekend with Ed Sadler and his racing review.
Pakistan Star's career has been full of ups and downs, but Sunday's Standard Chartered Champions and Chater Cup was smooth sailing as the $1.70 favourite recorded his second Group 1 victory.
Pakistan Star given a taste of the persuader with 100 to go, and he's burst away from Exaltant, trying to stick on, then Eagle Way, but Pakistan Star, he is the shining light of Hong Kong racing, and he takes a second Group 1.
Pakistan Star's win was especially significant for his rider, Tommy Berry, providing him with the highlight of what has been a tough season for the Australian jockey.
I know myself, if I told the connections that I was going to put on a jockey that had only ridden 13 winners for the season and hasn't ridden a winner for 2 months, I'd be second-guessing what Tony was doing. But to his credit and the owners, they stuck by me the whole way from when I trialled him before the QE2. They said I was going to be on him, and don't worry, there was nights where I was laying in bed thinking, waiting for the call to say you're not on him just because my form hadn't been good enough. But hopefully this is a turning point, and yeah, it's been a tough season, but I'm just glad that you know, today's worked out as well as it has.
Pakistan Star will now enjoy a break before he returns to racing next season, where the Group 1 Hong Kong Cup will be his main target. It was Tony Cruz's 5th win as a trainer in the Champions and Chater Cup and formed part of a feature race double after Winners Way took out the Group 3 Sha Tin bars earlier on in the program.
Winners Way raced to the lead, 100 out from Fabulous One, Born in China, the Wizard of Oz. It's 3 out of 4 for Purton. Winners Way.
The win was well deserved for the ever consistent Winners Way, who still has unfinished business this season.
To me, I think 1200, he can run the 1200 and 1400 a mile. It's a bit too far for him. I think end of June there's a 1400 Group 3 race, right? So it looks like we're aiming that way.
Winners Way's triumph in the Sha Tin Vase was the highlight of a 5-timer for Zach Purton, just a day after celebrating a Group 1 double in Singapore. Purton now trails Joe Moreira by just 2 wins as the race for the Jockeys Premiership heats up with 13 meetings left for the season, although the Magic Man will miss 2 meetings next month due to a suspension. The battle to be Hong Kong's #1 jockey will continue on Wednesday night, where Purton and Moreira both have a full book of rides.
And we'll come back to that in a second. A very interesting interview with Joe Moreira coming up in a second or so. But what a day it was. Pakistan Star wins. Tony Cruz, the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and won the other group race as well with Winners Way. He had a fantastic day. Pakistan Star, it's great to see him win 2 back-to-back Group 1s. He won't be Horse of the Year, I wouldn't have thought. That'll go to Beauty Generation, and deservedly so. He's won 3. That's my thought anyway. Yep. Pakistan Star and Time Warp will probably tie for second, I would have thought. But from a Hong Kong racing perspective, after everything he's been through, great to see him do it back-to-back.
There's a fair bit of debate about that. Rattan got a bit of hiking. Good to see Consort there with a win on the weekend, Paul.
He almost threw it away. I reckon another 50 metres and the other horse would have fought back.
A bit with Paul here.
Can't believe you.
I watched that race again.
Oh, come on, it took him 20 starts. He can't stick with them too long, but he got the win. Let's see if he backs it up.
All right, we will indeed. All right, back to the championship race. Joe Moreira and Zach Purton into Wednesday nights with a full book. Let's get Joe's thoughts on the championship title battle.
Talk about the premiership battle between yourself and Zach Purton. After Sunday, the gap is 2 wins. You've won the last 3 premierships. Do you feel under pressure now, though?
I feel under pressure. Well, I don't think that is any fight. Zach is already going past me. I'm suspended. 99% of the trainers are willing to support him, and seems like he's going to win.
What's changed from the last 3 seasons to this season, Joe? Because the last 3 seasons, you've not only won, but you've won clearly. Yet the gap is now 2. What's changed this season for you?
I've picked and choose some wrong horses early on the season. I would say halfway through. And that got some trainers upset. And for picking and choosing those wrong horses, the trainers are not willing to support me as much as they were. I would say that was my mistake for not picking the right horses and for not being able to keep them happy. But it's okay, because not even Jesus Christ could keep everyone else happy. Definitely I'm not going to be the one who is going to be able to keep them all happy, so it's okay.
Is there still that hunger, that determination to dig in for this fight over the last month or so of the season?
Well, if I was giving good rides, I would definitely be pushing hard, but the rides that I've been getting lately are not good enough to be competitive.
There you go. Is he waving the white flag, or is there a bit of rope-a-dope in that as well?
Yeah, it's hard to know. I mean, we know Zach can play the tactical scenario occasionally. Maybe Joe's just returning the favour there. I don't think it's over yet. There's a long way still to go.
You love the reverse mock, Brett. I think he's having a crack at that, isn't he? But no, I think it's going to be very close. But there's no doubt Zach's got the momentum at the moment. Yeah. But looking forward to it. It'll be a good last 13 meetings.
If I was a betting man, which I am, Andrew, I'd have them both at $1.92, but I'd be backing Zach.
Right.
Because Joe's got the suspension. But as Jenny pointed out last Wednesday when I did put her on the spot, there's still 13 meetings to go. Zach gets a suspension in a couple of meetings' time, or 2. Who knows how it could all unfold? It's all part of the mystery, isn't it, really?
It certainly is.
Great
Joe's
stuff.
in front at the moment. All right, let's get back to the weekend's action, see if we can find you some horses to follow. Stack of first starters, Paul, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I've got a first starter, actually, funny enough, which is a horse called Charity Grand. He drew the wrong part of the track, and you can see him, he's the widest runner the whole way down. He didn't give it away. I think once you step up to 1,200 metres with a low barrier draw for him, he'll improve a lot out of this race. You can see him, he's still wide, and he was entitled to drop back with all those horses chasing him there at the back sort of bunch. There's like 2 distinct bunches, but he stayed on and he bet them all home in the end and finished a really nice 6th there. So I thought it was 7th. It was a good run from him under the circumstances, so I'll stick with him.
All right.
Fair enough. Sorry, not Consort. Young Glory. So the wind-ups continue. The Racing Club horse. Now, this guy, when I looked at him in the paddock when you guys were discussing, and I'd seen him as well in the trials, he's a nice enough stamp of a horse. Jenny mentioned on the day he was very nervous. You could see that as well. But I like the way he stayed on here. He's by Niagara out of a traditionally mare. So I think he's going to want a bit more time and a bit more distance. He's far from the fully furnished product, but I like the way he stayed on. He ran 22.5 his last 400. He's going to need more racing and more distance, but there's an engine there.
All right, it's good news for the Racing Club. Third last race in actual fact, race 9. Telecom Brothers. What's the second? Third last. We got there in the end, weren't we? But this Alberto Senna from barrier 14 was basically in that spot the whole way around. Raging Storm wins this race. He's just on his outside at the moment. He's sort of matching him for a few strides. Then the afterburners kick in and Raging Storm's off and gone. But the ground he covered, and considering this is his first start as well here in Hong Kong, I thought there was a bit of merit in this. If he can draw on the track and get some cover next time, I wouldn't be surprised if he improves on that and isn't too far away from a win.
Yeah, well. He had a lot of lameness issues.
Yeah, he's missed 2 intended starts already. But there you go, that's Telecom Brothers for you. Suspensions, Derek Long picked up a couple of days, plus 60,000 for crossing and then steadying the pace.
That was Mythical Emperor, yeah. He really slowed up a little bit too quickly for the liking of the stewards and the jockeys behind.
All right, OK, that was the only one, though, out of the weekend. So we move into Wednesday night's programme at Sha Tin on the dirt, meeting number 76 of the season. We start off with a Class 5 over the 1,200 metres, headed by 5 Stars Agent, who was third at Happy Valley over the extended mile last time out. He's a previous course and distance winner. Rochford beaten favourite here last time out. Emery Bourne, first up since June last year. Massive Millennium runner-up behind 5 Stars Agent, 2 starts back. Corey Rapido runner-up behind Happy Sound last time out, who scored at a big price, $26 he was on that occasion. Rocket let win, the 8-year-old. Hasn't won in 2 seasons now. He's got barrier 2, though, with Matthew Chadwick in the saddle.
Zach's ridden 17 winners for Casper Founds this season, and Happy Sound had been running over the longer trips prior to, or he'd had one run over the longer trip of 1,400 prior to that win last start, and he did it well. Him and Trendiful might match engines early. Regency Honey, Rochford, where's he going to end up? Fortune Brothers has trialled well recently, but he's one of the lowest rated horses in the race.
Emery Bourne's put on 43 pounds since his last start. This will be his first run for the season. He's had 2 trials to get ready for it, so it'll be interesting to see what Jenny's report is from the paddock, but he was moving there. OK, that was his first gallop, and this is his second. So I thought I'd show 2 gallops from him since we haven't seen him for a long time. He's by Darcy Brahma. They generally do like the all-weather, and as a trial winner on the all-weather pretty recently. But just the 43 pounds was a question mark. Really like this horse, Sparkling Talent. He's having his first start on the all-weather. He always trials well on it, and his morning work's always good as well. And I think he's cherry ripe for this race. I expect a big run from him at a good price. Sparkling Talent. And Trendiful's got blinkers on for the first time. So I thought we'd show his piece of work here with those blinkers on. You can see he's going nicely. And that speed map was interesting. They had him going forward, whereas normally he's a horse that gets back.
Yeah, he has been forward in a couple of his recent trials and so forth. So.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll start off, though, with Happy Sound, who was a winner last time out. Covering ground as well, but momentum was the key here. Rochford was favourite. Corey Rapido closes off OK from the back too.
I like Corey Rapido here, Andrew. He's a horse from day one we all sort of made a little bit of a case for from time to time. The key, I think, has been getting onto this surface. I like the way he emerges from the back part of the field, races up here to Happy Sound in the end, gets very close. Happy Sound had the run from 1,400 on the turf back to 12. Look, it's Class 5. They don't often repeat, but I think Richard Gibson's stable's going really well. What a win from Ratton in the last on the weekend. And I'm going to take a chance, much to some people's disgrace, that he could be the best bet on the program.
All right, in Class 5, Emery Bourne. So he's nearly a year off the track here, but he came over in front of this.
Yeah, he's had a humerus stress fracture, this horse. He's put on these 43 pounds. I said, I tossed up whether to put him in or not, because his best runs have all been on the all-weather. In the end, I didn't. I left him out, but the cheek pieces will go on. You can see he trialled on the cheek pieces here, and he was just a little bit pushed out, so I just think he might come on with the run.
Yeah, I'm a bit like you, Paul. He's been so long off. Douglas White's done a lot of the work with him. I'll be interested to hear what Jenny has to say about how he really looks and whether or not he will take a run.
All right, Fortune Brothers has not been off as long, but a couple of months off the track for him.
Well, he's fighting for his career, really, isn't he, Andrew? He's on a rating of 15. Now, he hasn't raced since late March, but he's trialled well twice recently. You can see he's pushed on here. That's Cloud9, who's sort of closing in on him late. Can he take it to the track? He's done it once before from 16 starts. Found second. Most times he's very weak.
Yeah, he's got no weight on his back, and as you say, it's last chance saloon for him, isn't he? So I threw him in a place line.
Him and Rocket let win down the bottom are struggling.
All right, Corey Rapido's favourite in the first ball?
Yeah, but I like the Sparkling Talent. First start on the all-weather, always works well on it and has won trials on it before. So we'll take a chance with him at a good price. He's $12 at the moment. Corey Rapido second, Happy Sound third, and Fortune Brothers in there for fourth. So we're at 9, 7, 8 and 11, but looking at 9 each way.
I'm very similar to Paul, actually, but I will stick with Corey Rapido. It's a dirt meeting, and whatever my best bet will be, it'll be on an each-way basis, and I think Corey Rapido will probably be an each-way price. He is there at the moment, particularly at the 2.5 for a place. Sparkling Talent, like Paul, might be the danger. A lot of early money for him place-wise. Look at him there. He's $1 money back for favourite place betting. First run on the all-weather at start 39. Happy Sound, Trendiful, 7, 9, 8, 10. The 11, which was Fortune Brothers, was on the bench.
All right, OK, there's the first race on the 8-race programme on Wednesday night on the dirt. Short break for us, though, back with the second. Class 4 of the 1,800 metres. That's up next.